Zerko's Report, Episode 56. Does your hero wear Chuck Norris pajamas to sleep in? So, the purpose of this episode is to focus on when you sign out at night or before the workday and you have to go to the office or school or whatever, which hero set do you have actively running? You should have a resource production set running, unless you are doing silent farming, which you would have your farming set on and you would have your troops out farming resource tiles on the global map. However, outside of those two, there is no need for you to keep your learning set on or your invader set on. Now, I do have my invader set set up with gems that are resource producing, but it produces resources at a lower rate. There is no reason for me to keep that invader set running when I'm not in game, because this set you're seeing right here gives me much better numbers. But I do that. I added those resource production gems on the invader set. So when I am killing invader after invader for quite an extended period of time, I'm still producing resources. Here is my invader killing weapon. And you can see I have the Lazarite, legendary Lazarite up there. So it gives me 10%. Plus this weapon alone gives me 165% food, iron 10%. Now, here's an alternative. This is Amber Legendary, which is a marching speed bonus, but it's only 6%. So I thought, hey, this would be great to have on every single one of these. I'm not so sure it really benefits on the invader killing set, the invader set, because you typically park right next to the invader, so you're only 1 second away anyway. So even if I have 6 of them at 6%, even at 36%, that 1 second is still going to be 1 second. It's still going to, the amount of time difference is going to be so negligible, it might not be perceivable. So I think I'm going to probably pull these off, and this one has silver production for these boots. So I might add one for silver, or I may add another resource. I got to look at my invader set in its entirety and see which resources. And so then I'm still producing comprehensive resources while fighting invaders. One real quick note on your invader set: you should have Peridot Legendary and Emerald Legendary on every single piece. That's in my book, that's mandatory. All right, let's go back here. Okay, so this is essentially my learning set, except my ambulance. I have learning ambulance, the Olaf seal, but these are better because the golden boar is awesome, because it gives me 300% food. And then I have Jasper and Lazarite on there. And Master's Way gives iron production of 6%. So iron's at 16%, stone is at 10, silver is at 10. That's a good one. I really like this golden boar. And I have a pair of these. Now on the other one, I might have a couple different gems. different resources. We can check here. Oh, I have sapphire on this one, giving me additional food of 10%. That's pretty cheap. I'm too low on gold, as you see at 17K. I'm not going to spend 8K, 8,000 gold to remove this sapphire right now. Once I clear 100,000 gold and I can spare it, then I'll probably switch that out, because 300% to 310% is pretty negligible. I would rather, let's see, we have iron, stone, silver. I understand why I did food, because I am the resource manager for lumber, so there's no reason for me to have lumber. Alexandrite stone, iron. Okay, silver is 3.6. All right, it's from that. So I may throw silver on there. I need to boost my silver production anyway. Food's okay, but when I already have 300%, another 10% is going to be negligible. But on the silver, to go from 3% to 13%, that's better. So I'll switch that out. All right, next is, hold on one sec. Okay, here's a person's hero set. They're all legendary. They're all great pieces. The problem is, this is not the hero set you want to have prior to logging out. This person is not farming a resource tile on the global map. As you can see, there's nothing there to farm with. The Sigurd's hood is for learning. Bjorn's armor is for building. Victor's bracelet is for learning. I'm sorry, for building as well. The sword and the boots are for killing invaders, and Olaf's seal is a special item along with Sigurd's hood for learning. So now what could you do with this set? Well, yes, you could add resource production gems to any of that stuff, but they're not all good for that. Here's the Olaf seal. Currently, this person doesn't have any gems on their amulet, and it has silver at 90 and food production at 180%. Whoop-de-doo. The golden boar I just showed you, that is standard equipment. It's pretty cheap to make, and it's 300%. You should get a pair of those. That's 600%. So this is very specific towards learning, and training's really nice. So you want to throw in the Euclos, I think is how you pronounce it, for training boost. So that would be good to add to this. So whenever you're training troops, I forget the learning speed gem, what it's called, but that definitely needs to be added. That gets you an additional 10%. And then whatever's left over, you can throw up onto it whatever you want, or leave it blank, because I mean you're using it specifically for learning and specifically for training. You're not using it for silver, food, or any other resource. And as far as your rune goes, that would be applicable to your learning and or training speed. You're going to use this amulet very specifically, and when you're done with it, you're going to remove it and replace it with something else. Here is their Victor's bracelet. Now this is a building at 59%, and there's the endocolite. So the endocolite is giving an additional 10%, and the growth rune is probably giving 1.5%. Topaz is resource yielding. I would not put that on there. You're not going to use Victor's bracelet for farming resource tiles on the global map, so it is literally wasting a spot. Alexandrite is the stone. So it's better, but again, even this piece, along with Olaf's Seal, is very task specific. This is for building. You can throw the Indocalite on there and leave the rest of them blank. It doesn't... You're going to use it to build, and as soon as you're done building, you're going to take that bracelet off, and you're going to put on a different amulet. Here's their Bjorn's armor. Now you can see, now this is a very good piece. They just don't have any gems on it. This is a comprehensive piece. You got lumber, stone, and iron all at 60%. That's fantastic. And it's for building. So now, whatever the building gem is, throw that one in there. And if you don't have that, leave a spot open for it later. But take 2 of those spots. You got 3 of the 5 resources down below already at 60%. Take the other 2 and put legendary gems in there. Now what if you don't have legendary gems? Obviously, you put the highest class of gem you can for now. Later, when you get a better one, replace it out. The fact that you were able to craft a legendary special armor, you probably have so many gems already, it's pretty much a guarantee that you already have a legendary of that resource producing gem. So that's probably not going to be a problem. Now for your rune, I would suggest always making the rune relative to the piece and what it's intended for. So this one was intended for building. So the rune you add, make it a building boost as well. Now, if you don't have such rune yet, fine. Put something else in its place until later. If it's a very weak rune, that's up to you. I mean, at 1.3%, yeah, it's not going to make a huge grand difference. So if you have a stronger rune you would rather have there. But in this piece, I wouldn't suggest that because you're only using it momentarily to get the building started, and then you're going to pull it off. So really, the rune should, in this regards, that it's a building piece of armor, the rune should be specific to building. Sigurd's Hood, Aquamarine, that's it. That's the name of the learning speed gem. Fantastic. They have this up here. Great, wonderful, fantastic. Because now they have 34% learning speed, the training, so they could throw in the training gem. As far as the third one goes, well, you know, it doesn't really matter because you only need to focus on learning and training because you're only going to have this up there applied to your hero long enough to start the new knowledge. Unless you're like me. And I have Sigurd Hood running full all the time. Aquamarine, Sapphire is silver, Lazurite is iron, and I'm using this as a resource production. Why, would you ask? Do you ask, why in the world would I do that? Well, there's this thing. Let's go over here. Go to the forge, go to equipment and helmets and special equipment. Bjorn's helmet. Well, building speed's good. Silver and food, not really necessary. Silver, Hawkins helmet. Silver and food. It's cavalry, that's ranged. That's siege. Olaf's melee. As you can see, what's opened up right now in our forge, I don't really see anything that is good for a comprehensive resource producing helmet. But for the sake of this video, let's scroll on down. We have Scout, we have Killer, Offense, Defense, Ranged, Melee, Training, Siege, Cavalry. Okay, so in that regard, you just saw everything. The other was a fortress fighting something. Bjorn's helmet could work as your helmet. It does have silver and food production. That's not bad. You already have that. You could use the other 3 slots. One for building, regarding the gems. One for building, one, and then the other 2 for resources. Or you could just do what I did. And, come on, and use Sigurd's Hood. So I found that one to be the best for resource production. Alright, back out there, go back here. So, think about that. What is the hero set you leave when you, right before you, what's the hero set you apply right before you check out of the game? For the night, or for the workday, or the school day. This should be running at all times. In previous videos we've talked about hyperbanking and keeping your resource levels up here at the top, what's in your hand, to always keep those below capacity so that they are always producing. It's nice, every morning I wake up to quite a bit of resources. This is what I produce right now per hour. So and my max on this is 12.3 million. So literally my food maxes out in 2 hours. Lumber, it's 8 million. As you can see up here at the top, it says capacity mines, 8 million, and it says in white. Stones, almost 2 million. Silver's 1.3. So these max numbers, this is what I have sitting when I wake up. This is what I have sitting ready to be used or passed along to our resource managers. I represent the wood, that's why I have 2.7 billion. And so then I'll send out all these resources I just produced onto them. So, what you need is a Chuck Norris set of PJs. Let me know if you have any questions. Zerko out.